This is day 4 of camp, and this is day 1 minus Samson Ebukam. And so a lot of the questions for Shane Steichen about Ebukam, but also about the guys who are going to be expected to be sort of next man up. And that's what Steichen said. This is about opportunity for other guys. This happens in the NFL. It's sad when it happens. It's kind of tragic when it happens. Careers end on fields like this, right? Hopefully that's not the case for Ebukam, but it also means that there's opportunity for others, and the opportunity for Laiatu Latu is real, and Steichen talks about it.
First day in pads, I thought the guys flew around pretty good. Going clean up the tape. Injury update. I'm sure you guys saw the news when Samson went in after they evaluated. You guys saw he tore his Achilles. So that's a tough break for us. I mean, what a great competitor he is. The sacks he had last year, and he was just continuing in the right direction. So big blow there, but guys got to step up. And then Titus has a knee that just happened in practice.
How does that change things for Laiatu, Dio, the rest of their room without Samson?
Yeah, Quiddy, Dio, and Latu. I mean, it's time those guys need to step up. I mean, they're good players, and now obviously Latu coming in rookie year. Obviously, we like where he's at, and we got to keep repping that and go from there.
Does his reps maybe increase, or you try not to let that impact too much?
I mean, we're still developing, right? Day in, it's our 4th day out here, but we're still developing all those guys. Obviously, the reps are going to probably crank up a little bit for those guys, but we got to be smart too here in training camp.
It's kind of reinforced that there are no luxury picks, in the draft. Like, you have good players, you take them, and you don't know what the future holds. I guess, does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, obviously you take him at 15, first defensive player off the board. I mean, he's a heck of a football player. That's all we took him, so we're excited for the future.
Shane, what do you think of day 1 for Latu in full pads?
I mean, he looks explosive, coming around the edge in pads. It'll be good to see him in these preseason games.
What have you seen from AD so far?
Just explosiveness, kind of similar things that we saw in the spring from him, winning the one-on-one matchups with any young player, right? Learning the system, but you can see the explosive ability, the one-on-one winners that he's had. We got to continue that.
Anthony kind of came up with the ankle a little bit.
Yeah.
That hit. Was that just
he just got stepped on. He got stepped on a little toss sweep there.
And that last one, just collision.
Yeah, when we moved, Kenny was there and just kind of, he's good.
One more thing on Latu. I mean, we talked a lot about his explosiveness, athleticism. How much in the way of physicality did you focus on when you guys were scouting? Did you see a lot of that?
I did. And you watch all these rushers in the draft, and they're all talented. But his motor that he had after plays, you could see it. You know what I mean? Even if he gets around the edge and the quarterback steps up, boom, he is turning and running, trying to go get him. And that's what really stood out to me about him, was his relentless effort.
Him against the run. How do you guys see him playing against? Because he's not built like Quiddy or somebody like that. But how do you see him against?
Yeah, I think he'll do a great job. Charlie, our new D-line coach, he's doing a heck of a job with him. We're working through that. Obviously, first day pads with him, but I think he'll be great against the run.
We talked about pursuit. Was that an example of that when he kind of came off the edge and chased Anthony?
Yeah, that's exactly right. I mean, he's just got the relentless motor. That's what you want at that position as defensive end, is coming after the quarterback, and then shoot. If you don't get it, go chase it.
Dealing with the heat, full pads on, what was your overall takeaway from today?
Thought it was really good. Coming off a day off, we had a day of rest yesterday, and coming in, first thing we had obviously was practice. But I like the way the guys competed today in full pads, taking care of each other, but really competing at a high level today.
What stands out about Josh Downs now that pads are on? He's in his 2nd year.
Yeah, I mean, I said it the other day, I believe, just his explosiveness, his understanding of the defense and getting certain looks and how to set up, defenders one-on-one and in space. So really excited about him.
Coach, with all the attention that Latu's going to have, and even Dio and Quiddy, to have a Taekwon Lewis who can play everywhere, what does that mean?
Yeah, he's tremendous for us. He's been here for a while. Just the way he goes in about his business every single day, the way he rushes the passer. I mean, he's a leader in that room for a reason, and we're extremely excited to have him.
Going into your 2nd year with Reggie Wayne, how have you seen him challenge the receivers? Because he talked about it pretty openly the other day, like every single player has to do more.
Yeah, I mean, he's done it at a high level, and we all know that. He's one of the best to ever do it, and he's challenging those guys day in and day out to get them to be at their best every single day when we hit this grass, and it starts in the classroom, the walkthroughs, and then we hit this practice field. He's on them pretty good, so it's been good to see.
How are Pearson and AD kind of responding so far? And how you're deploying them too?
I think it's great. We're rotating those guys in there with the ones, and they're competing, and that's what it's all about, is competition, right? Is getting better every day, and and going from there.
Do you need to tell Joe? Do you need to tell Joe to be a little bit smarter and not take off so much in scramble?
Yeah, he had some nice runs today. It looked pretty good to see it. Running out there. It was shoot. I was thinking about like shoot when he was younger. I was like shoot. He probably took off and had some big ones. I got to talk to him today in the meeting about that.
Do you ever think about having to limit his rushing?
Yeah.
Conversation.
Yeah, we'll get that under control. Yeah.
You can also throw it away too. Just
Yeah.
What stood out about Jelani so far early in camp?
Big and long. This is obviously last year with the injury. This is the first time we've seen him really in pads today. Really. But you can see his length, what he brings down the field, down the middle of the field. I mean, he's got some good speed once he gets going. So it's just really good to have him back.
Shane, on
A couple more.
how beneficial is it to have a backup like that who you can evaluate your young wideouts, you can throw 80 or Alec in that second team and not have to worry about
That's a great question. It is very valuable to have a veteran like him who's probably seen most of everything. And to have that experience with those young wideouts, even after plays, you can see him coming over, talking to the guys about certain things, obviously that he's been through and just how he wants things, how he sees it. So it's awesome to see that.
That tight end room, they were really banged up this time last year. It's probably hard to evaluate. Are you starting to see definition with that? It's a pretty big group.
That's going to be an interesting group for sure. There's some competition going on in there, and obviously we're going to go through camp and see how it plays out.
What are you seeing from Ronnie Harrison at the free safety spot and just his versatility overall?
Yeah, I mean, he made some good plays for us last year, and then going into camp, obviously the competition back there in that position is going to be big, but you can see he's made some plays. He made a good play today in the team period, so it's really good to see.
Okay.
The offense kind of coming together a little bit, and Steichen addressed that, but it's a defensive front that's really going to determine how this thing rolls. If you can get Latu and Paye and Lewis and that whole group getting after the quarterback, shaking up the timing of the opposing quarterback, you got a chance to win a lot of football games given the strength and the explosiveness that this offense has. Steichen seems like he is enthusiastic about the opportunity to win some football games this year.